Hi, this is Bobby Kimbrough, and welcome to Off the Cuffs. Today I'm excited to have with me Ezekiel Mitchell. Ezekiel Mitchell?
Yes, sir.
I said it right?
Yes, sir.
I'm glad to have you. So, you're probably wondering, do we have a cowboy or look-alike cowboy, or did he just dress up today? I thought we'd do something different today to kind of break the monotony of what's going on across our country with coronavirus, and also just to give a whole different look to life. And so today I have with me Zeke, for short. Zeke, tell us about yourself, because when I first heard of you and I first met you, I was intrigued that a young man is actually a cowboy. So tell us about yourself.
Yeah, Ezekiel Mitchell, I ride bulls professionally now. I grew up in a small town called Rockdale, Texas.
Rockdale?
Rockdale, yes,
Rockdale,
sir.
Texas, okay.
Yes, sir. Back and forth from there in Baytown with my mom and my dad. They were split up, and pretty much just a kid with a dream, and I did whatever. I did whatever it took to make it come true.
I like that. How old are you, Zeke?
23 years old.
23 years old. So I'm going to slow this down a little bit. You said you are a professional bull rider.
Yes, sir.
Right? So you don't know this, but I did some research, right? So for those of you that are watching and listening, he is a professional bull rider. He's ranked 22 in the world on the, PBR?
Yes, sir, PBR.
Professional bull riding circuit.
Yes, sir.
You ranked 22 in the world. Wow.
Yes, sir.
So what's that like? I mean, how did a 23-year-old kid get into riding bulls for a living?
Yeah, just my dad, whenever I was a kid, he always wanted to be a cowboy, so he dressed me up in starch jeans and long sleeve button down and stuff like that, and that's all I really ever knew I wanted to be. And then I realized that I could rodeo and make a decent living at being a cowboy, because if you ask any old cowboy, the best way to make $1 billion in the cattle industry is to start off – the best way to make $1 million in the cattle industry is to start off with $1 billion. Wow. So I took that to heart and kind of said, okay, I'm seeing what all these rodeo cowboys are doing, and I want to do that. I can be a cowboy throughout the week, and then I can have what makes me my living on the weekends, and really enjoyed the idea of that. And then I just kind of dove in head first, and then we're sitting here today.
Well, first of all, I want to welcome you to Winston-Salem.
Thank you.
I understand you're a resident here now. You purchased a home here.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's very rare that a 23-year-old kid, when I say kid, I don't take this as disrespect. I got boys older than you, but that's strong for a 23-year-old kid to purchase his own home, right? And so I saw you on Good Morning America.
Yes, sir.
I saw you on Good Morning America. Good Morning America. You were riding in Madison Square Garden, right?
Yes, sir.
And so as I think about, and I've watched you, and I said, and I've seen you in different settings, and I said to myself, wow, how did a 23-year-old kid end up from Rockdale, Texas, Madison Square Garden, California, professional bull rider, and now he's living or residing here in Forsyth County? That's amazing. And you know what else I did too? Because see, this the PBR was new to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're the first professional bull rider. Now, I know some people that told me a lot of BS, but you're the first professional bull rider that I've ever met, right?
Yeah.
And so I started doing some research, and I realized that you guys do pretty well riding bulls.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So how does that work? Tell me about a bull riding contest. How does that work?
So for my specific bull riding contest, it's going to be anywhere from 35 to 40 guys there that weekend, depending on the format of the event. But we're all randomly drew our bulls through a computer system or whatever.
When you say drew your bulls, what do you mean?
So we're randomly matched up with our bulls.
Okay.
So they'll have a list of 100 bulls or whatever, and then they'll match us up with those bulls through the course of the first 2 or 3 rounds. And then after that, our top 15 go back to our championship round, and all those scores are put together as an aggregate, and whoever has the highest aggregated score is going to be the winner of that event. But the scoring is where it's interesting, because a lot of people, when they come to me and ask, so how does it work? What's the longest you ever stayed on a bull? The time is kind of it doesn't really make a difference as far as long as you ride them. You're supposed to ride them for 8 seconds. That's when your score is given.
Right.
So that's the minimum maximum requirement is
So the
8
8
seconds.
seconds, you're at your own risk.
Yeah, 8 seconds.
Just
yeah,
no.
Yeah, that's just it. You want to be getting off about that 8 seconds because, one, you want to make sure the bull doesn't lose its heart or whatever. You don't want to overwork that animal. And then you also want to make sure you can get off safely and efficiently.
Because every second you're on that bull, you're putting your life at risk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So then after that, it's up to the judges. So they're going to judge the bull on the scale of 1 to 50 and the rider on the scale of 1 to 50. They're going to judge the bull on how well he performs and the rider on how well he performs. And they're going to add those scores together for a possible of 100. So you want to be in that high 80s, low 90s range because it's pretty much impossible to gain that 100-point score because if you gain that 100-point score, like our director of livestock says, you can't because that means the bull would have to be perfect. That means you wouldn't be able to ride him. So
have you ever been injured on the bull?
Yes, sir. Not too terribly bad. I've been very blessed in my career so far. I've only had a few concussions. I split this ear in half right here.
I can see where it looked like somebody scratched you or something. Right? Split it in half.
Yeah, Mike Tyson got a hold of me. And Mike Tyson got a hold of me on this side too.
Bull hit you?
Yeah. Hoof came down.
Came across you?
Yeah, it came across and just split it wide open. And pretty much what the doctor said was my cartilage was on the outside and my skin was on the inside, so they had to flip it back the other way.
So you heard that song, right? Mama don't let your boys shouldn't be able to grow to be cowboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't listen.
No.
So, I was talking with the group that manages you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was being nosy. And I said, so that's a lot of risk to take. I mean, what's the monetary rewards of that? And they were telling me that not only you're very successful, you got several sponsors, and you're on track to be a wealthy man by the time you're 30 from riding a bull.
Yes, sir.
So, but when we were talking, you said something to me when we were talking before you got here a day or two ago that sparked me into saying, I want him here. And you said that you had a dream. You said that that's something you wanted to do. You said that you prayed, you asked God to help you fulfill that. You said that you kept believing because you said that you didn't have the money to be a rodeo, right? You didn't buy horses, right? So you said, hey, you saw a guy on a bull and he was pointing at you and you thought that guy was your sign that he's telling you or something is telling you that's your path in life. And I wanted you here for that reason because there are so many people here in this world, in this city, in this county, in this state who have a dream but don't know how they're going to get there. Their dream may be not as out as yours because to me, riding a bull is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just crazy for no reason, right? And so I want people to realize that their visibility is important, right? Visibility, how far you can see. And as a young boy, you had the vision and the visibility to say, hey, I want to be a bull rider. So where have you ridden bulls at?
Pretty much everywhere over the United States. That's inside the country. So
Really? Texas?
Yeah, Texas,
California?
New
York?
New Mexico.
I saw you in New York. Yeah.
Man.
Matter of fact, I was supposed to fly up there to see you, but ended up watching you on TV that morning. Yeah. So, yeah, I know you were in New York.
Yeah, New York, Manchester, Chicago, Las Vegas,
So they ride
Nevada,
bulls in the Chi-Town?
in Chi-Town every year.
Really?
Every year.
So, I mean, what kind of fans come to, I mean, is it crowded? We got 5, 6, 7 people?
No, we sold out the Staples Center in L.A. before. So we sold that thing out.
Staples Center, how many people they hold? 1,500?
I'm not even sure. That's where the Lakers and the Clippers play.
That's a joke. I know they hold.
Oh, yeah.
I know they hold.
I don't know how many they
yeah.
but they said we sold it out. So I don't know. We go to some pretty cool venues, and you would be surprised at the fans that we have that don't come from my lifestyle or whatever, the Western lifestyle, but they enjoy the sport.
Do you see a lot of minorities, African Americans riding bulls?
Yeah, and the numbers are growing, you know, and whenever I was growing up as a kid down in Houston, when I first started riding, there's a...
You said Rockdale, Texas, right?
Rockdale, and then whenever
you got an accent, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yes.
And then whenever I moved to Baytown with my mom, that's when I really started getting into bull riding, and then I started meeting all these African-American cowboys that were down there, and they were super talented, but they just chose that they can make a sufficient living in Texas and be okay with that, and I never wanted to be that guy, but there's always been African-American cowboys around. I've always known a lot of great ones, but now that's starting to be more guys try to move up the ranks instead of just staying at home and being comfortable making their money at home. There's a lot of guys that are just trying to get out, you know, and I feel like that we're the start of something great, you know.
So what's your move out? What's the lifespan of a bull rider?
Probably no more than 10, 15 years at the professional level, if you're healthy and you still love it and have a passion for it and you're pretty dang
Seems like
decent.
that would hurt your back, man. Just thinking about it, man, made me want to stretch my back a little bit, you know, bumping and jumping and moving and twisting.
The only thing that hurts my back really is being on these plane rides and not having enough recline in those seats and being on there for hours. The bull riding really don't hurt that bad, especially when you're doing things right.
Wow. So you really enjoy that, huh?
Oh, I love it.
Really?
I love it.
So you're not afraid when you get on the bull? How much a bull weigh? A couple 100 pounds?
Yeah, anywhere from, at our level, probably anywhere from 13 to 2,000 pounds.
1,300 pounds?
1,300 pounds to 2,000, or a little bit heavier than 2,000. Just
that kind of gyration and moving around, 1,300 pounds, hit you, could kill you, could break you, could do a lot of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So what's your plans for the future? So, you know, we talking a 23-year-old kid, right? Right? No disrespect. We talking about a 23-year-old kid. So what do you look for, like, down the road? What's life look like for you down the road?
See, that's something I've been thinking about, and my management team, my agents and stuff, we've been talking about it a lot, and I feel like my purpose is, first off, to win a world title or 2 or 3 and be done with my bull riding career, but I want to take the sport somewhere to where, like, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson took wrestling, you know, or a lot of these great athletes took their career onto the screen, you know. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities out there for me in acting. I feel like I'm a fairly decent-looking kid, and I feel like I just want to transform the sport, and I want to bring more people into the sport that I love.
Yeah, you're a nice-looking little kid. You got a split ear, but other than that,
other than that, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what does the ARAB mean? What that?
Ariat? Yeah, that's my only sponsor actually this year. We pretty much dropped everybody else and we became pretty exclusive with them.
What they do?
They make.
So you educating me because I didn't know what that means. Forgive me for mispronouncing.
No, it's okay.
But you know, bull riding and that whole sport thing is new to me. So I got a lot of questions. So when you had that on, I thought it was like a Fiat emblem, Porsche emblem. Something. I didn't realize what it was.
It's actually 3 horseshoes.
Oh,
intertwined on a shield, yeah.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah. So they pretty much they make Western wear.
Oh, I could see it could actually be a Q shirt if you change the colors around a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they sponsor. There's a clothing company.
Yes, sir. So it's probably one of the biggest Western wear companies going as of right now, and
wow.
They're founded on technology and innovation, and pretty much they make everything from my head to my feet besides my cowboy hat. But
so speaking of your cowboy hat, right?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't noticed a lot of people around here wearing cowboy hats, have you?
No. Usually I don't see too many people anywhere wearing cowboy hats.
Except for in Texas, right?
Yeah, some places in Texas, some places like where I live in Baytown, you hardly ever see anybody in a cowboy hat. So
you feel out of place with your cowboy hat on?
No, that's who I am.
I like that. That's who I am.
I like that. They tried to bother me whenever I first moved to my mom right in my freshman year of high school. They tried to bully me. Oh, you're wearing that, da-da-da-da-da. What's wrong with you? And I tried to let it get to me for a second, and then I was like, why would I care about what y'all have to say about me?
I like that.
And that's what I like trying to tell a lot of the young kids. Like, I've had multiple conversations, like walking out of the store, I got my cowboy hat on, and they go, yeehaw. And I'm like, hey, man, I said, look at yourself. Is that the person that you really want to be? Because this is the person I really want to be. So said, this cowboy hat makes me a lot more money than you probably make. So
I like that, man. You know why? Because there's so many young kids out here now that are lost who are looking inward, trying to figure out who they are. And they're trying to figure out how to make their dream become a reality. And here you are, a 23-year-old kid. God has blessed you and put you in a place to where you are a game changer.
Oh, yeah.
You literally can change lives. When people see you and you said what you just said to me, and you say what you just said to me, this is who I am, right? And you're not ashamed to wear your hat. You're not ashamed to tell people you from Rockdale, Texas. And this is because of where you've arrived at in life. That's a strong statement. And you're still being true to who you are, a professional bull rider. Wow. So you've been getting a lot of practice in since you've been around here? A lot of bull. Have you found any places to ride bulls around here?
Yeah, actually, that is pretty much just like Texas. You might have to drive a little bit further than I do from where I live, but there's a lot of places. There's a lot of people that are in the buck and bull business. Actually, one of the PBR's founders lives right down the road. His name's Jerome Davis, and he has a whole slew of bulls.
Around here?
Yeah, around here, just literally 30 minutes up the road.
What's his name again?
Jerome Davis.
Wow, I'd like to meet him.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him.
Yeah, he'd probably like to be on your podcast, too. He's a great guy. Very, very inspirational.
He's the founder of the PBR?
One of the founders.
One of the founders?
There were 20 founders, co-founders for the PBR, and he's one of the original 20.
So you know the history. So how long has the PBR been around?
I think 27 years.
27 years?
Yeah, 27, 28 years.
Is it a pretty large organization?
Oh, yeah, and it's only growing. We just got bought by the company Endeavor that owns the UFC. And
owns the who?
The UFC.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're continuously growing. It's still a very young sport, but we're one of the fastest growing sports in America. We have great TV rates and everything else like that.
So the ratings are great?
Yeah, the ratings are great. We're just bringing in fans from all over now, so it's just, I don't know.
Well, I want you to know that I became a fan when I heard of you and I saw you. I said, you know what? I got to watch this and see what this is really about. So tell me this, right? So you know what I would like to do just for one time, right? I like to get on a bull, right? Not a vicious bull, but just to be able to say I rode a bull but I'd be afraid to get off. There's a way you can get me on one and then get me off. In other words, what's the little holding place they have before they turn him loose?
The chutes?
Yeah, could I just sit on one in the chute and then get off?
Oh, yeah, we can do that.
That's what I like to do. So I can say, yeah, I've been on a bull and I rode one, you know.
Yeah, we can do that.
That way I can say, you know, rather than stepping in some bull, I've ridden a bull, right?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool, man.
Yeah, you can't wear that suit, though. That's a little too nice of a suit to be wearing out there with them bulls.
See there, man. Say, you know, people have been trying to get me to wear a cowboy hat, right?
Yeah, you got to get one.
I keep saying I'm going to buy me a cowboy hat just so I can say that I have one, right? But a blue cowboy hat, man?
Yeah, man.
How many hats you got, cowboy hats you got?
Oh, right now, probably not that many. Probably 5 or 6.
Wow.
Floating around. I don't know. I got, yeah, probably maybe 7.
Every time I see you got on cowboy boots, too.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll catch me in tennis shoes every once in a while, working out or.
So you wear cowboy boots with a suit?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You wear a cowboy hat with a suit?
If I need to.
Wow.
See, me now, I just like to wear my blazers.
Nice with the cowboy hat?
Yeah, blazer with a nice starched pair of jeans.
So what do people say when you go through the airport, right? With a cowboy hat on, a blazer. What they say?
Well, I got to meet Mike Epps in the airport the other day, and everybody usually just goes to that Lil Nas X song. They're like, Lil Nas X, or they're like, I'm going to take my horse down the hotel. And I'm like, okay. Or people recognize me and ask for an autograph or something like that. But no, I get really strange looks, but I don't pay much attention to none of it.
Yeah, I guess, you know, when people recognize who you are, oh, that's Zeke. Yeah. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah, hopefully soon I can make it to where the mainstream media puts me out there too, so we can just really bring a new light to this sport.
Well, a young man like you, man, you got time. You got a great team with you. You're doing big things. We're glad to have you here. But I want you to do me a favor before we go, right?
What's that?
I want you, if there's a mother out there listening or a young kid out there listening, regardless of who they are, race, color, creed, what would you tell them about their dreams? What would you tell a mother who, I heard you say that your mother and your father separated, right? Did I catch that correct?
Yes, sir.
What would you say to them about their kids? Because, we have a lot of our kids at 22, 23-year-olds are doing a lot of crazy things, robbing, drugs, and things like that. But then here we have you, a professional bull rider. Most kids want to be a professional football player, a professional basketball player, a professional athlete, right? And here you are, you chose a different path. So I guess the message is no matter what your path may be, it doesn't have to be a professional nothing. But I guess the thing that you said to me that stays with me is you said you're staying true to yourself and your dream. So what would you give them?
That's pretty much it in a nutshell, is that no matter who you are, your color, your background, your finances, for the parents, I'd tell them to nurture your kids but make them earn it. And for the kids, I'd just tell them, make sure that you stay on your path. Stay true to yourself, and I don't know, the sky's the limit. My dad always says, aim high and keep that aim. And that's what I kind of try to live by. And you can't let anybody deter you from what you want to do or the person that you want to be, because there's a world full of haters and there's a world full of no's. You have to make yourself be that one yes.
I like that, Z. So I got one more question before I wrap. So how does it feel? Are you still staying humble now that you've transitioned to where you're successful now? You're successful. Are you remaining humble? Are you remaining focused? Because that would be very difficult for us, a 22 or 23-year-old kid, to all of a sudden now to be able to go, to buy, and do whatever you want to do, most things in life now. Are you remaining grounded? Are you still doing those things that got you there? Are you still saying your prayers? Are you still being humble? Are you still being that hope for the hopeless and a light for those that are searching? You still doing those things?
Yeah, that's going to be. I feel like I always knew I was going to make it doing something. I was like, but whenever I get there, I'm going to make sure that I treat everybody the same way that I did on the way. Unless you treat me differently, you're gonna get the same Ezekiel Mitchell through and through. If you're a kid that I've never met in my life, I'll talk to you. I'll talk you through whatever you need, your problems, your anything, anybody. Like, if anybody needs prayer, I'll pray for them. Like, I had a good friend of mine from back home called me last night and said, hey, can you do me a favor? Pray for me. Prayed for her at 3 o'clock in the morning last night. So, like, that's just going to be me. That's the values and the stuff that my family has instilled into me. I can say that circumstances do change. I can kind of buy things that I want to now, and but I don't feel like it affected me as a person. It did show me a lot of other people's true colors, but, it hasn't affected me as a person.
I saw and I read where you won a tournament. Is it a tournament? Is that the correct term?
You can call it a tournament, an event, whatever.
An event.
Yes, sir.
I saw where you won an event, and a part of the prize money and a part of your winnings, in addition to the monetary value, that Jack Daniels gave you your own private stock.
Yeah.
With their own label on it, a whole barrel of that. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I want you to do me a favor, man. I want you to stay you.
Yes, sir.
Stay humble. Years now, when I run into you again and you have won one of those world titles, I want you to be the same humble 23-year-old kid that I met back in Winston-Salem.
Yes, sir.
You're doing wonderful things, man. You got a great team around you. Stay grounded, stay humble. And anytime you want to come back through here, stop by. I'd like to get you out to some of the schools. I was hoping that the schools were still open. I'd like to get you out to some of the schools. I'm going to try to find some of the, it won't be hard to find, some of your videos of you riding a bull and segue it into our off-the-cuff segment of you, actually doing your thing on a bull. But it would be nice to get you out to the schools and let you talk to some of our kids, young kids, to tell them, hey, you can obtain your dream, regardless of what your dream may be. If you stay true to it, have the vision, and keep the visibility about your dream, you can do it. So I want to tell you I appreciate you. I love you, young man. You're always welcome to come back here. Anything you want to say before we go?
No, just thank you for having me, and God bless you, and God bless everybody out there. And just, like you said, stay true to yourself, and the sky's the limit.
I appreciate that. This was Bobby Kimbrough with Off the Cuffs. I had Ezekiel Mitchell, professional bull rider. May God continue to bless you, this city, this county, this state, and this country. And as always, Off the Cuffs with Bobby Kimbrough. Thank you.